We're carrying on from how the universe started 13.8 million billion years ago and where we are right now and where it is going to. So, where we are going to, as per research, that we have known that the universe has been expanding in all directions at once and coasting along for a long time. But the question was, how much gravity has been slowing this process down? Initially, it was proposed by Einstein the universe will collapse as a result of gravity into itself and everything will be annihilated. Gravity is the weakest force in the universe and is what keeps the planets in space. Trying to measure the process of how much gravity was slowing the universe down resulted in a very surprising result. The universe was not slowing down but actually accelerating at a rapid rate of about a million miles per hour. So gravity is not powerful enough to slow the universe down, and when matter in the universe was measured, it was only 10% of the universe. It was not dense enough to slow the universe down. What was? It was ascertained that invisible dark matter permeates more than 90% of the universe. The problem is that they are so tiny, they can pass through anything and everything and not even been captured. Scientists have been trying to capture dark matter in the deep underground experimental setups, let's say, but nobody has been successful. So there's basically no empty space. We are in a sort of a plasma with there's no empty space between me and this camera or you or the world is permeated with 90% of dark matter, which hasn't been measured as yet or captured. So as we know, the thought was, if it's not the dark matter, if it's not for dark matter, the universe will fly apart. When trying to observe the rate of slowing down the universe caused by dark matter, it was discovered that the accelerating process was occurring. It was thought that the universe would fly apart as a recurring process of inflation is occurring as it did in the first Big Bang. So when the universe reaches its middle age, stars at the end of their lifespan will exploding into their remaining fuel in a spectacular fashion, which is called a supernova, and everything will collapse into the center of a star, which is called a black hole, with an intense buildup of gravity into a point called singularity, wherein matter, space, and time will cease to exist. That point where everything goes in is called the event horizon of the black matter. And when the universe reaches its lifespan, nothing will cease to exist. It will fly apart into infinity. The sun, our closest star, which provides us with heat and light to sustain life, will be the source of our annihilation. When the sun runs out of fuel, that keeps it from collapsing into a fireball 5 billion years from now. The fireball will evaporate the oceans and intense heat will scorch the earth, annihilating everything. Our universe is actually cooling and dying. Even the longest living slow burning stars will burn out and the sun has about 5 billion years left. And very few stars will be shining 10 billion years from now, and the dead stars will still orbit around the center of the galaxy, but the collisions will cause them to fall into a giant black hole at the center of the universe, and the universe will gradually disperse. Gravity will lose its grip, and there will be nothing. It's all started with nothing and will end with nothing. Our Big Bang might not have been the only event that occurred. There might have been multiple Big Bangs and multiple multiverses and universes pervading the whole phenomena that's been occurring, which we don't know anything about on a grand cosmic scale. Humans have explored the earth and now we are into forays of going into space exploration, from landing on the moon to exploring Mars and Jupiter and going to other planets and building space stations and stuff like that. That's where we are going, from moving around on Earth and going around in ships, and now we have planes and spacecrafts, and it's becoming much more different adventure. Um, it was conceivable that as we explored Earth and it colonized it, we could have come from cosmic dust. It could have come from anything. Where did our cells come from? Um, we are in a process where there is an unknown, huge unknown occurring, because all our cells and everything have been there for millions of years. They're just changing form. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, you and I have lived many lives. I remember them all, and you don't, Arjuna. And that is it. We think our whole little life span of 80 years on earth is the be all and end all, and we try to make it comfortable and somehow live in this world where it's about preservation of ourselves first and everything else. But once your perception changes to how cosmic we are cosmic entities coming from nothing and going to nothing and just changing form constantly, then we realize that everything around us is the same, and we have a sense of connection and compassion to the whole universe as it is. And our goal or mission becomes, how can we help people or alleviate their angst and pain of living in this um, microscopic microscopic view they have of the universe rather than the global cosmic view. It is as if the unknown created human beings to inquire and experience itself from another dimension. Once we realize that we are that, the infinite, we arrive where we started. It was also discovered in 2014 in parts Australia, actually, that the oldest star is approximately 13.56 billion years ago, discovered in our galaxy there by the Australian National University. And in 2014, they also discovered plankton in spacecrafts when they were cleaning the windows in. Um, but the thing was, from where the Russian spacecraft are left in Baikonur, there is no plankton. Then we wonder where they came from, because they were not carried from Earth into space as people might think they did, and they were able to survive in sub-zero temperatures over there. So life seemed to exist out there, and so that seems to be where we are headed in the future. And once we have this perception that we are cosmic entities living in a world which somehow become um, tunnel vision, and we go out of this tunnel vision and look at the wider world that exists when we view the world from out of this keyhole vision, we realize that the anxiety and the anger and everything else that we feel is actually quite pointless, because everything is just occurring in its own way, in its own time, in the most singularly spectacular, efficient manner. We don't know where we are going, but that's the greatest adventure of the unknown. We will come to the next chapter soon.